Alright, this is going to be an experimental video because I don't really know where I'm going with this. All I know is that I got this free posthole digger, and both handles were busted. Good wood, they'd just been sheared off. And all the hardware came apart, tightened up real fine. It's a nice, good kind of posthole digger with a big, fat, meaty, like 3/16 end up here, and the hardened steel blades riveted to it. So I'd like to save it if I can. If it was a cheap one, I'd have just thrown it in the scrap metal bin. But I got the handles for it, and I'm not going to buy them because I could just buy another posthole digger for the cost of handles. And I've got a shave horse that I've had here for forever, and I've used it once. And I was also thinking, I don't have any hickory around here. Well, we do, but they're all big trees, and it'd take me the better part of a day and a half to find 2 saplings, and then one of them would probably be bent. But what we do have acres and acres and acres of is Yaupon holly, and this is a just branch of a holly bush that I just hacked up like probably 12 years ago, and it's just been sitting beside the house, and this thing is still absolutely rock hard. And I mean, it's just been sitting out in the elements in 100% humidity for like 12 years. I haven't done anything to it. It's just been, I mean, it's literally just been sitting in dirt, and it's still, absolutely as hard as you can possibly imagine. And we got tons of these things everywhere. I mean, there's probably, well, you can't see any. These are all azaleas, but it's out there. It's every single tree row in the entire coastal plain, anywhere in the coastal plain of South Carolina has Yaupon growing in it. So I'm going to go out and go find me 2. The trouble's going to be finding a big enough one, because Yaupon, the stems of the wild ones out here, they don't really get that big. I got to find 2 that are 4 foot long and about 1 3/4 inches, a little bit more. I think about 2 inches in diameter, because I'm going to shave it. So it's whatever 1 3/4 inches is on the hypotenuse of that. I'll do the math. It's probably like 1 3/4 inches, probably. But I think we can, if they grow straight, if they get cut back and they're in good sun, they just grow back straight. They're hard as a rock. I think I can make myself a nice set of handles out of those. And my plan is to cut them big. And I'm going to try and find 2 that are like bent like this. And then I'll put them together like that, and then I won't smash my knuckles. And I'm going to cut them big and then shave them down to square at the bottom, rather than the inverse, which is you get a bigger piece, you cut it square, and then you round the top. I'm going to do the opposite because it's easier. And I'm not going to use pine because that shit is not going to last at all, although as a stopgap, I could. These aren't long enough. These are only 4 foot. But I could cut down a 2x4 and make a stopgap if I really wanted to, but I want to make something that'll last. Not that it matters because it's just going to sit in my garage all this time. But anyway, I digress. Let's go poke around the woods and see if we can find something, and see if this still works, and see if I still have my draw knife. I think it's right there. Anyway, let's see what we can do. All right, so most of what you're seeing here is Yaupon. I'm just in the back of the field. I am on a north-facing aspect, which here in the northern hemisphere means that these are going to be the slowest growing plants. They're also going to grow straighter because they're trying to grow that way into everything. So they're going to try and grow straight up, because they're not going to be getting much sun from over here. At least that's the theory. They're also going to be the slowest growing, which means they're going to be the densest, which means that they are going to warp the least when I cut them, and they're also going to, just be the most solid. And I hopefully won't have to let them dry out too much. I'm planning to work these green, and then just slap it together and then just torque it as need be. But anywho, I see one right here that I like the look of. This guy right here. It's a little bit bendy. I'll keep looking. But there's that one right there is real nice too. But yeah, this is just standard Yaupon thicket in here. So I've got, as many choices as I want. That's probably going to cut that one right there. And don't worry about these things. You literally can't kill them. You cut them back down, they'll just come right back up. There's some in the yard that I've been mowing for decades, and they just come right back every single year. But yeah, just there's Yaupon all over. So I'm gonna pick me out 2 nice straight ones that are about this big. They have this interesting growth form where they're kind of like ovular. Probably this guy. Maybe. Probably that guy. Anyway, I digress. I'm gonna get the cut. All right, those have been cut. Got just 4 that I thought were generally the right size and relatively straight. About 6 foot long. And I guess I'll take them back and see if they peel. If they peel, I'll peel them. And if they don't, I won't. You know, honestly, I'd kind of rather have the bark on them because that bark's actually creates a fairly nice non-stick grip to it. So we'll see. It dries straight to the grain. It doesn't peel or crack. So probably just gonna leave it. I know I said I'm gonna work them green, but I've been thinking about it. I wonder if it might be better if I just leave them and let them dry for a couple months and then work them. See how they actually twist and warp as they dry. So I'd hate to work them green and then have them warp backwards from where I thought. So I think I am just gonna let them dry. Or actually, I'm probably going to work one set, pick the worst looking set and work those, and then let the other ones dry. And if the ones I work stay true, I won't do anything. And if they don't, I'll do the R one. That sounds like a plan. All right, well, those guys are in the garage. Now I just have to figure out how to make that look like that, but longer. I don't know. I'm probably just gonna not do anything for 3 months and then come back when they're dry and do something. All right, it's now July, so I think it's been at least 6 months and these things have been drying over here. So let's bust them out, find which ones are the right diameter and straight enough, and get to finally putting them back on this sucker right here. I don't even remember what I was doing. It's been so long, but we got the sawhorse right there. We got all the old parts. We got the sticks. Let's get to shaving them. All right, so I've marked out what I figure to be the best 4.5 foot section, 54-inch stretch in each one of these. So for this guy, it's from there to there. From that guy, it's there to there. That guy there to there, and that guy there to there. And we're gonna work on the nastiest looking one of them first, which I think is this guy, and just see what we can do. I'm gonna get the reciprocating saw out and just take all of these knuckles off like this and just shave all of them down. And then we'll get out the belt sander and take out any, or not the palm sander, and take out any other nubs. So actually, probably easiest just to use belt sander. Although I have a metal cutting belt on there, but I'll eat through wood too. And yeah, just generally shape these up a little bit better. And then we're going to, say for these guys where there's like a weird angled tip, just take an inch off of each of those. And yeah, just generally start hacking on them and see what we can shape out of these that looks remotely like a handle. And ultimate plan is to have it be about 48 inches. Would like it to be a little bit longer. 54 is good because then you can have a 48-inch hole. Actually, I guess you can still have, but anyway, would like to keep them as long as I can, for as long as I can, and then cut them from there. But it looks like I don't really have anything that has more than a 4 foot straight section. This guy right here is oddly the straightest. The whole rest of these, they all have a nice big curve in them. But my plan is to kind of put the curve on the handle like this so that the whole handle flares out like that. And ideally when I have a hook or something, you know, like this, put that facing out too so that I have, you know, non-knuckle busters. And to just try and fit them as best as I can. The real art is going to be in cutting the square on the end to line it up for the holes and just making sure that angle is perfect. But yeah, that's my general headspace. So we're gonna start moving wood and hopefully something that looks like handles comes out at the end of it. Well, shave horse broke on the first handle. So yeah, I guess we should probably build that properly like I should have 5 years ago when I made it. But anywho,
I was kind of getting sick of using the shave horse anyway, so we're going to move on to the belt sander, just as God intended. Kind of really the only reason I made this video was just to show off the sawhorse, because it's in my channel trailer from when I started this channel back in 2020, and never actually used it for anything. It was the only second time I ever used the thing. So anyway, I got to fix that now, and we're going to use that now to shape this. But I've got 2 sides done. I started on the 3rd, and this is just the right diameter. However, we are kind of getting a scallop going in like that, so we do need to sand these tips down so it fits better. And yep, we'll get back to it. Well, the belt sander made quick work of that. They're not perfectly square as I would want. They all taper, which is just kind of what come par for the course with a belt sander. Really hard to put a flat edge on them, especially when they're curved like this, because the whole belt sander bends and curves and whatnot. You hit the front anyway. It's a mess. Would have been nice to plane these things or use the draw knife first and then shape them, but it is what it is. I think I'm gonna mock up these worst looking ones. I think this guy and this guy. I'll fiddle around with them and see which set gives the best arrangement, and then we'll mock up the other 2 so that we can screw those up and then make sure we do the other ones right. So anyway, I'm gonna do that real quick, and hopefully, just maybe, we'll have a set of handles here in a second, and then we can, clean up the actual handle part up there just so it doesn't, tear your skin off. All right, just like that, I've got the janky set mocked up. Drilled a 3/8 hole in the end of it, and just had to do a little bit more fitting work, but we'll jam that in there, and we'll see how it goes. Probably have to shim some stuff, but it may just work. But anyway, this is just the mock-up. Then we'll do the other ones, and if I accidentally break those, then we still have these. And if not, then these will just go in the pile, and I'll use them for another posthole digger on a later date. Well, it ain't pretty, but there's the reject ones on there. I had this guy turned 180 degrees, and it was smashing up there at the fingers and right there in the middle. So I turned it another 180 degrees, and now it's kind of like so, which is not ideal, but it does still work. You just have to kind of hold it at a diagonal. So yeah, that's not ideal. But again, those are just the rejects, so we'll take those off and trim them up there at the top, and we'll put them in the storage pile. And now let's go drill holes on the good set, and hopefully they come out looking much better. Okay, so there is the good set on, and it's much better, much straighter, and it has this nice little curve in it, which is actually very ergodynamic when you're, working on the lower end of it. It's not so great when, you're working all the way up here, but you can just grab lower. So it's about what I'm looking for. They're not quite perfectly aligned, which I'll get over it. I'll just use it like that. No biggie. I don't care enough. I might actually be able to torque on this one side enough to get it to, if you just kind of crank on it, they straighten out. So something, it might be able to steam that thing or something, but anyway, I don't care enough. So I think what we're gonna do now is take those suckers back off and trim these guys even. I'm gonna try and measure them from the top bolt up to a certain point, I guess however much I have left on there, probably 52 inches or something is probably the slack I'm going to have left or whatnot. And then we're going to take them over to the belt sander and just kind of work up these, smooth out these guys up here, take the bark off in this general vicinity right here. And I just try and put a little bit of a bevel on the end of it, round off the ends, that kind of stuff, trim them. And yeah, that should be more or less ready to go. So it's something. All right, so just like that, we have some long, hard, stiff rods. They're kind of smooth, and they have this bulbous bit at the end, and it feels really good when you go like this. And yeah, handles are done. I don't think I'm gonna go much further than that. I could, really get in here with some like 300 grit sandpaper and smooth these out, but I think they're good enough as they are. Like I said, got a little bit of a nub up here at the top, so they don't slip out your hands when you start getting sweaty. And I think a couple years worth of hand oil on that should bring them around pretty well. That's about what I want. As you can see right here, I was not particularly, thorough with the sanding job, but, it's not bad. This Yaupon is really nice to work with. It's soft enough, but it's tough, it's strong, but it's also soft, and you can work it pretty easily. It's not like trying to work oak or walnut or something where it just fights you. But it is also incredibly stiff. There's, not a lot of flex in it. you know, you can get some out of it, more flex than, you know, you'd be getting out of hickory or something. But it's just a light amount of flex, and it actually works out pretty well for this. So I've got it set up so that you can just run them like this, I guess. Best way to do it. And let's take them out here in the dirt and see what we can do with them. All right, so we're out here in the mess, as so aptly named because it's a mess. And dirt out here is really soft, which took many years to get it like that, because it is it's not very soft over here, as you can tell. Very firm dirt, but anyway, I've managed to soften it up through here with some hugelkultur, along with some, you know, just trying to get some living microorganisms back in the soil, get some organic matter, beef it up, till it, that kind of deal. But anyway, it's nice and soft, so it's easy to test a posthole digger one-handed. So let's see how deep we can go. Oh yeah, nice. Can't do that out there. Let's actually try it over here, just as a quick point of comparison. Yeah, so that's the difference. But I'm just gonna dig some holes over here for no particular reason, and just see how well it works. Well, it works. Digs a hole. See, we got down in the sugar sand, which is as you can tell, the groundwater. We're down 4 foot. That's my life, which is why I'm doing all of this for the mess. But anyway, that's a different story for a different time on a different channel. But she digs a hole. The bowing out of the handles, it's not bad when you're, you know, just digging a 2-3 foot hole, but once you get down here where you're kind of maxing out the depth of the posthole digger, it's not the greatest thing. Kind of makes it harder to pull it out when you get really down, all the way down there to the end of it. Come on, you piece of shit flashlight. So yeah, ideally wouldn't have these bends in these, so I think I might actually store these things in the garage and just zip tie the handles together and just see whether or not it takes a better set. We'll see about that. That would be interesting if it actually did. But anywho, I think that's all I got for the rest of this video. Good Lord, who put this in here? So anyway, posthole digger works. Handles are fine. I think Yaupon is in fact a good wood to use for this. Only trouble is shit bends, it stays bent. So you're probably better off using hickory or walnut or something. But it's what I got, and turns out it's not actually all that bad. Ah, shit, I gotta fill this hole in. Well, we're just gonna let that sit for a couple more months until I need it again, and maybe, just maybe, it'll have taken a better set. So who knows? So thanks for watching the video. I hope this helped. I don't think it would have helped you in any way, shape, and form, but yeah, I felt like doing it. I already got to film some, putting it up here on YouTube, and you got suckered into watching it, so joke's on you. So anyway, go down there, dislike the video, comment, call me all kinds of mean names. All engagement helps. And if you want to see more garbage like this for some reason, you got to subscribe. So smash the big gray button. And until next time, Tom out.